We usually hold it for Cesar Romero, but he sprained his mustache.
If you thought you knew everything about MASH, think again. Behind the laughter, the pranks, and the chaos lie secrets the cameras never meant to reveal, from hidden deformities and weird habits on set to real-life disasters. These 20 facts will blow your mind. Get ready, because these details might just change the way you see your favorite war doctors forever. The mystery behind Radar's hidden hand.
Well, I'll be hornswoggled.
Will you look at that?
This is embarrassing.
Have you ever wondered why Radar O'Reilly always seemed to hide his left hand? Harry Berghoff, who brought the beloved character to life, was actually born with a congenital deformity affecting 3 fingers on that hand. For a show so visual and intimate, the production team needed to carefully conceal this. Despite the constant need for careful positioning, Berghoff didn't let it slow him down. He even became an accomplished drummer on set, performing with skill and precision that amazed cast and crew alike. The secret went largely unnoticed by viewers at the time, making Radar's charm and talent all the more impressive. It's a testament to both Berghoff's ingenuity and the attention to detail in creating the world of the 4077th. And speaking of real challenges on set, the finale itself faced a danger you won't believe. Real wildfire became part of the plot.
Look at that sunset. What a beautiful ending for a beautiful day.
Yeah, it'd be a nice sunset if it was setting over there.
During the filming of MASH's series finale, a massive brush fire swept through the outdoor set at Malibu Creek State Park, destroying tents, props, and much of the camp. Instead of halting production or rebuilding everything, the writers and producers saw an opportunity to turn a real-life disaster into story. They rewrote the episode to include the fire as part of the plot, explaining it as enemy shelling that forced the staff to evacuate. The sequence added unprecedented realism and tension to the finale, blending actual events with fiction in a way that made the show's final hours even more unforgettable. This was one of the rare moments where real-life chaos directly shaped a TV storyline, proving that sometimes truth is stranger and more dramatic than fiction. Wayne Rogers was sued for leaving MASH. Wayne Rogers, who played Trapper John McIntyre, shocked fans when he suddenly left MASH after season 3. CBS wasn't happy and even prepared to sue him for breach of contract. But here's the twist: Rogers never actually signed one. During the show's early days, he objected to the contract's restrictive clauses that gave the studio too much control. Production moved forward anyway, and no one noticed the missing signature. When Rogers decided to quit, there was nothing CBS could legally do. That simple oversight made television history. He walked away completely free, something nearly unheard of in Hollywood. The cast wore mostly sneakers instead of boots.
Does every new nurse fall in love with you here?
No, only the ones with taste.
Do you think I have any?
No, let me taste you.
While the crew always appeared perfectly uniformed on screen, the reality behind the scenes was quite different. The cast of MASH rarely wore their army boots because they were loud, uncomfortable, and made filming especially tricky on the soundstage. To work around this, most scenes were cleverly shot from the waist up, keeping the actors' feet out of view. When full-body shots were absolutely necessary, the boots were reluctantly worn, but for the majority of filming, the cast simply wore sneakers. This explains how Alda could wear the same pair of boots throughout all 11 seasons. They didn't wear out. The cast was obsessed with playing poker off camera. When the camera stopped rolling, the 4077th crew had a different kind of battle going on: poker. During downtime, cast members could almost always be found gathered around a table, shuffling cards, tossing chips, and exchanging playful trash talk. What began as a casual bonding activity quickly became a beloved ritual that carried on throughout the show's long run. Loretta Swit even earned a reputation as a skilled bluffer, keeping her co-stars on their toes. These off-camera games not only strengthened friendships among the cast, but also created a lively, fun energy that carried over into their on-screen performances. Loretta Swit almost quit over typecasting.
You're a nurse. That's an honorary thing. So you can boss around a bunch of nurses, but not men, not real soldiers.
Is that so?
Early in MASH, Loretta Swit feared she might be trapped playing a one-dimensional character, worried that Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan would define her career. She even considered quitting the show. Instead, Swit stayed and fought for the character to become more nuanced, showing strength, intelligence, and vulnerability alongside the humor. Her determination transformed Margaret from a simple comic foil into one of television's most memorable and multi-layered female characters. Alan Alda's weird habit.
Where's the girls? Where's the girls? Want girls? You want girls? You! Suck in that gut! Roll out that chest! You stay just the way you are!
Alan Alda wasn't just the face of MASH, he was one of its creative driving forces. Over the show's 11 seasons, he directed 32 episodes. Known for his calm, easygoing leadership, Alda had the weird habit of directing while being barefoot. Behind-the-scenes sources confirmed that he often went shoeless on hot days at the Malibu set. His relaxed approach helped ease tension and kept the team focused even through emotionally heavy scenes. The cast and crew often said that when Alda was in charge, the set felt more like a family than a production. And speaking of raw emotion, one episode captured tears that weren't acting at all. The cast cried real tears in Abyssinia Henry.
There were no survivors.
When Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake's tragic fate was revealed in the episode Abyssinia Henry, the cast's reactions were not acted, they were completely real. The producers had deliberately kept the ending a secret, refusing to tell most of the cast that Henry would die until moments before filming. When Radar entered the operating room and delivered the shocking news, the heartbreak, shock, and stunned silence you see on screen were all genuine. There were no rehearsals, no retakes, just pure, raw emotion captured in one unforgettable take. Alan Alda made the cast read actual surgery books. To make the performances on MASH feel authentic, Alan Alda encouraged the cast to study real surgical techniques and Korean War-era medical practices. This wasn't a studio requirement, it was Alda's personal idea to help the actors fully inhabit their roles. Some cast members even practiced stitching on rubber pads during breaks, quietly turning the set into a miniature medical classroom. This dedication to realism helped make the operating room scenes far more convincing and gave the show its unique blend of humor and authenticity. Harry Morgan's first appearance on MASH wasn't as Colonel Potter. Before Harry Morgan became beloved as the wise and warm Colonel Potter, he appeared in MASH once before, as a completely different and much wilder character. In Season 3, episode The General Flipped at Dawn, Morgan guest starred as Major General Bartford Hamilton Steele, a highly eccentric and unstable officer visiting the 4077th. The performance was unforgettable. Morgan's blend of comic absurdity and military authority impressed both the MASH producers and the cast. Larry Gelbart later said that when McLean Stevenson decided to leave the show after Season 3, Morgan's name came up almost immediately. The producers felt he could bring maturity, humor, and gravitas to the leadership role the camp needed. As a result, Morgan was invited back the next season, this time as Colonel Sherman T. Potter, who debuted in Season 4. This casting decision is one of the rare cases in television history where a guest actor returned as a completely different regular character, and it worked perfectly. Potter became one of the most beloved figures in the entire series. David Ogden Stiers almost walked off set over a sandwich.
Get me the hell out of here!
David Ogden Stiers, who played the refined and exacting Major Charles Winchester, was known for taking his craft extremely seriously. One day during a lunch break, he discovered his sandwich had mysteriously vanished and immediately assumed the crew was playing a prank on him. Angered, he stormed off the set, leaving cast and crew bewildered and worried that he might quit in the heat of the moment. After a tense few minutes, it turned out the sandwich hadn't been stolen at all. Stiers had accidentally left it on a prop tray. While the incident became a running joke among the team, Stiers himself never fully found it funny, highlighting both his intensity as an actor and the high standards he held for himself on set. Mike Farrell had a habit of falling asleep on set. Mike Farrell, who played BJ Honeycutt, became famous not just for his acting, but also for his incredible ability to nap anywhere on set. Between long takes, he could be found dozing in corners, lying on stretchers, or even catching a quick snooze on the operating room set. Crew members joked that he could probably sleep standing up if given the chance. Farrell admitted it was the only way to survive the grueling shooting schedule, proving that even the most dedicated actors need a little downtime to keep up with the pace of a hit show like MASH. Real soldiers in the 4077th. Several cast members of MASH had real military experience, which added authenticity to the show. Jamie Farr and Alan Alda both served in the US Army. Alda served in the Army Reserve in Korea for 6 months, and Farr enlisted and was stationed in Japan while doing USO tours through Korea. Wayne Rogers, who played Trapper John, served in the US Navy as a ship navigator, and Mike Farrell, who played BJ Honeycutt, was a US Marine. Farr even used his real dog tags on the show, which contained his actual personal military information, including his name, serial number, and religion, adding a fascinating layer of realism. Loretta Swit was a vegetarian before it was cool. Long before vegetarianism became trendy in Hollywood, Loretta Swit was already committed to a plant-based lifestyle. Known for her passionate advocacy for animals, she often brought her own food to the set, and gently encouraged others to think about the impact of their diets. Her compassion extended beyond her personal choices, influencing how she approached her work and life, and showing that her care for others, human or animal, was as real off-screen as it was on. Nurses on set fought for screen time. The recurring nurses on MASH, like Kelly Nakahara and Judy Farrell, weren't content to simply be background extras. Many of them pushed the writers and directors for actual lines and meaningful character moments, wanting to be seen as more than just part of the scenery. Some directors listened, giving these performers small but memorable moments that added realism and depth to the camp. Loretta was especially supportive, mentoring the nurses, offering tips, and encouraging them to stand out whenever possible. Thanks to their persistence, these minor characters often left a lasting impression, making the 4077th feel like a fully inhabited living environment. Real Korean war surgeons loved and criticized the show. Many doctors who had actually served in Mobile Army Surgical Hospital units during the Korean War wrote letters to the show's writers. Some praised MASH for being surprisingly accurate in its portrayal of medical procedures and the moral dilemmas of saving lives in wartime. Others complained that the characters were too irreverent or too comedic. Producer Gene Reynolds often responded personally, explaining that the show's true goal was to show the humanity behind the war, not just the war itself. This balance between humor and authenticity helped the series earn respect from both veterans and audiences alike. The pilot episode reused footage from the 1970 movie. To save money, the pilot episode of MASH used aerial and helicopter footage taken directly from Robert Altman's original 1970 MASH film. Since 20th Century Fox owned both productions, it was completely legal and cost-effective to recycle existing material. The result created a sense of visual continuity between the film and the series, something most viewers never even noticed. Loretta Swit and Alan Alda made a pact.
Margaret, you made a joke.
I told you I was tired.
The sofas in the living room. I can't believe you said that.
Swit and Alda clicked immediately, and their on-screen chemistry blossomed into a deep friendship off camera that lasted long after the show ended. They shared mutual respect, supported each other through long, challenging filming days, and leaned on one another during tough moments. They even made a pact. Neither of them would leave the show as long as the other stayed. Both had tempting opportunities outside the series. Alda received film offers, while Loretta was invited to star in major stage productions, but they stuck it out until the very end. Swit later said, "We promised to see it through together," and we did. Their loyalty gave the show a sense of stability in its final years, at a time when many other beloved cast members had already departed. The cast kept a chicken as a pet. In one episode, Radar tried to keep a chicken quiet to avoid alerting enemy soldiers, but that chicken didn't just disappear after the scene. The cast and crew actually kept it around for a while, treating it as an unofficial mascot of the camp. While it provided some comic relief and companionship on set, nobody really wanted to handle the less glamorous tasks, like feeding or cleaning up after it. Eventually, the chicken was sent to a nearby farm, but its brief presence became a quirky and memorable behind-the-scenes story that added a bit of life to the camp beyond the cameras. Jamie Farr wore his own clothes. When Maxwell Klinger appeared in his iconic dresses, many of those outfits weren't props. They came straight from Jamie Farr's own wardrobe. Farr even contributed one of his mother's old dresses to the show, believing that using real clothing helped make Klinger's cross-dressing antics feel more authentic. He later admitted that he kept a few of the more fabulous pieces for himself, adding a personal touch to the character that fans adored. These wardrobe choices helped Klinger stand out as one of the most memorable and humorous characters on MASH, and that's